Mine too.
I love you. I miss you.
Love comes in all forms.
It's a fairy tale.
Okay, hi Garrett. This is Pedro from Cartera, Spain. How are you doing?
Hello, Pedro. Very well.
Great. So I have to commend you and John Crowley and Anna and everyone involved in your episode for finding the depth and such complexity in your characters in just a half an hour. So my question is that how do you do that? How do you find that core and that depth in a short story? And how is that different from the experience in the movies?
Well, it was, it was a wonderfully written script. It was unique. Obviously, it came from a wonderful sort of New York Times article, but the script was unique. It was dealing with a lot of things you don't usually get to watch in some. That's kind of a 30-minute episode. You kind of have your beginning, middle, and end having to be condensed and happen so quick. It's not, next week's not going to be a continuation of these guys' stories to grab onto as an anthology series sort of goes. So it's tricky, I think, because it's modern love and because it was so lovely and because of working with John Crowley and Anna Paquin, and we had such a wonderful time making it. We wished that we were, shooting something that was 2.5 hours long. So that was the obstacle.
Well, this is maybe the most visually creative and inventive episode of the season. So can you talk about that?
Yes.
That aspect of how does the story come to life and your character comes to life using that imagination in different genres?
Well, the writer had done such a wonderful job of adding in these fantasy elements to this episode that were really a reflection of the characters' PTSD, hallucinations, visualizations, and they were done in a unique way. It was really from perspective of what would be your dream scenario right now, or how would you change how you reacted or responded immediately right now if you could. If your gal is walking down the street with a man that you feel she's having an affair with, what would you do? Of course you'd have, your whole platoon come in and carry him off and her turn around and say she's devoted to you. So all these things were very unique. They, I think we were just hoping that they wouldn't seem silly in a way is one of the fears that you have when you're dealing with some of these some of these potential like storyline kind of intrusions, and you hope they're not going to be intrusions. You just hope they're going to build to the whole canvas.
So the episode is about how you can plan life and how you can find love in the most unexpected places, but it also tackles, as you said, PTSD and a subject that thankfully we are talking about a lot these days, which is mental health. So what do you think is the message that the episode sends about mental health in relation to love, to modern love?
Well, in Spence's case, he was a soldier coming back from the war. I think, a message that this episode sends out about mental health and love is no matter who you are, what you do, or where you come from, we can all feel wounded. We can all feel undeserving of love. And if you shed yourself of a regimen or a plan and just take your hands out of your pockets and keep your chin up, that right partner just might cross your path. And that's wonderfully what tends to happen in this episode.
That's wonderful. You have done you haven't done much TV. You did Mosaic not so long ago. Was the anthology format of Modern Love what attracted you to the show? And you plan maybe on doing more TV?
Yeah, of course. And For me, I'm honest when I say this, that the first season of Modern Love was literally my favorite thing I watched over COVID. It was my favorite, it was because we weren't going to the theaters. I wasn't, we weren't watching reruns or anything like it. It was just laying back and holding hands with my gal. Was watching every episode of this was my favorite moment of COVID. They're endearing stories, no matter if they're, finding the right person at the right time, or if it's losing someone at what you think is potentially the wrong time, and how that affects you is, you get to see the beautiful imperfections of love all throughout all these episodes, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I have to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Garrett, for your time. Have a great day. Take care.
Want me to call you?
I realize I might be coming off like some gross late night guy.
You're not gross.
No?
Don't run from this now.
I just spent the night with the woman of my dreams.